For us being at Woodford from an early age, seeing so many shows and a lot of the high energy shows, whether it's Amphitheatre or New Year's or any of these big ones where you walk into a tent and you just start dancing, that's kind of the feeling we try and put into our shows because we know how great of a feeling that is.
G'day, this is Radio Woodford here. I'm your host Harley Breen, and today we have a special Woodford full circle moment. We've got a band that are made up of three wonderful young men who were Woodford babies. I love that term. That's people who've been coming here since they were a baby. They were married to one. And then they formed a band after watching their dad and other friends play music at the Woodford Folk Festival. And then last year they performed for the first time. That band is Tjaka. The boys, Geoff, Jake and Felix, came with such wonderful energy. And also, stay tuned and listen out for a little bonding moment between Felix and I, where I might be his future. Anyway, enjoy. How are you, boys?
We're good.
Yeah.
We're very good. Yeah. We've just finished our last show for the year and feeling good.
Yeah, feeling great.
Last show for the year.
Yeah, we've had a busy...
That's an early knockoff.
It is, yeah, for us. This time last year we were getting ready for Woodford. So
Yeah. And coming this year to hang out?
I might be. Felix definitely will be.
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be there the whole week.
Oh, well, great.
Getting into the pits, having good fun.
And so obviously, to assume here, by the way, because we're only meeting today, but brothers,
Yes.
if I can assume by the looks.
Yeah, and brother from another mother.
A brother from another mother. Geoff, Jake, Felix.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
It's funny you say that. Last year when we played at Woodford, we were doing a little talk one of the days at I forget which tent it was, but we're like on stage with Rhoda Roberts having a great chat, and we meet her backstage. She's like, "Oh, so like, where's everyone's like bloodlines from, like your family?" And I'm like, "Oh, my family's Irish and stuff." And she's like, "Oh, that's cool." And then the boys are telling her about like their country, for, like over in WA, like, and then we're on stage and like 2 minutes in, she's like, "Guess who the Irish one is?" And I'm like, "Oh, set me up bad there. Oh my goodness." But
Well, I had a note too that, and I want to get into that, boys, discovering your cultural heritage. And then I was like, well, I reckon by the name Fogarty, chances are not not local to this land.
No.
Although, you know, there's great history of the Irish and the First Nations people in Australia having a common enemy. But how did you all meet? WA, you said, is where you found out is where you're from? Culturally?
Yeah, so basically born in Brisbane. I met him at the hospital. And Felix, I've actually known Felix longer, so our parents were friends before any of us come along. So when Felix was born, I think there's a little video of me holding him when I was super young and he was just born. So, and then that's when I went, okay, you want to learn guitar because we're in about 20 years we're probably gonna make a band.
Things to do.
Yeah, we got plans. But we've pretty much known each other.
Your whole life.
The whole life, yeah. And then Luke, who played drums for us last year at Woodford, he's our older cousin as well. So we're quite I'd say family based, and we have a good time.
And I have the note that you're Woodford babies, which is a term I love. Meaning Woodford babies are those who've been coming since they were babies.
I'll let Felix tell his story because it's pretty awesome.
He might be the ultimate Woodford baby.
Oh, really?
yeah,
Before you hear it, but
Okay.
I'll leave it there. I'll let him.
I've literally never missed one my whole life. Like, I mean, apart from, so my birthday is 23rd of December. The only one I've ever missed was the one that was a couple of days after I was born. So,
Well, no excuses, Felix, you fail.
I know. It's like, no one's perfect, but I gave it a red hot crack. But since then, the streak's been kept alive like the whole time. Like, even some years I haven't come for the whole week, but usually it's a whole week thing. And then like, as I've gotten older, I've been like trying to indoctrinate my friends. I'm like, you got to come. This is the best place ever. And they're like,
I've drunk that Kool-Aid as well.
yeah, and
absolutely.
They're like, bro, I don't really listen to folk music. I'm like, it doesn't matter. There's all sorts of music. There's all sorts of, like, even if you don't want to listen to music, you can go see comedy. You can go see. I remember like one.
Shout out to the comedy program.
Yeah, Exhibit A. I remember But the year like I first convinced my like extended group of friends to come, we're like first day we're wandering around, we've had some drinks at the campsite, everyone's feeling good, and they're like, oh bro, like what should we go see? And I'm like, let's just walk around and see what we can see. We're like walking around, we're like walking past, I think it was the parlour at the time. We hear this like strange noise coming from inside, so we're like, let's go in there. We walk in, it's Lindsay Pollock, who I don't know if you've seen him, but he's incredible. He's on stage, carrot in hand, absolutely shredding it like it's a flute, just playing like
and not making a salad.
Incredible. And then my friends are like, oh, I get it now. And I was like, ever since they've been like, yeah, we got to go again. So it's just like a yearly pilgrimage, really.
Well, we had Lindsay on here, and he brought along an apparatus that could easily have been used for consuming cannabis.
Yeah.
But then it turned out it made this incredible sound.
Yeah.
And, he's a real unique
awesome.
part of this. Yeah.
And
so then how does and you boys have been coming since you were young as well, and that's sort of the way that your family communities are connected is through here?
Yeah, that's right. Our dad used to play here. He had a few different names, like a few different bands. He'd go by Jilparoo, it's his stage name, but he came here with Yawa a few years, and they'd play around when the Indigenous tent was there, they'd play there. They played the Grande and a few places in between.
Yeah.
Amphitheatre.
And you're just young fellas
and
watching
we were just,
your dad do that.
like we were mucking around backstage and, trying to throw the footy and we're just the kids mucking around pretty much.
Just remembered a funny story. Like early on, it was like my first or second time, and I kind of not long had started playing Didge because Dad played Didge as well. He said, like, I was kind of hanging around for sound check, and he reckoned, just go start busking. And I was like, I don't think I was pretty well, opposed. I was like, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble for that. There's so much music, and then I'm playing for money, and also I want to go see the music. Anyway, I ended up doing what he said, and like some people were given there was some coins and stuff, and ended up, I think whoever came past it, oh, you're not allowed to do that. And it's like, oh, thank God, someone stopped me. I didn't want to do this anyway.
It's great.
I can go finally see the music.
Well, I didn't know that as a rule, and so now I've come on in the programming side of things for the comedy program, and I had to read all of the rules and regulations around, and there's a specific, you can't bust. Like people have been paid to be here, you can't be out, and people have paid to come into the festival. We're not taking more money off them. And literally the year earlier, I'd had my boy out there with another mate's boy. I'm like, go on, busk.
You'll be right.
And it was on the last day, and they made a killing. Anyway, I made that story up. It's not real, please. So you're doing that as young kids. Were your parents performers here as well?
They never made it here, but Dad always used to play music. Like he just like singer-songwriter stuff, would go do blackboards and stuff, and he always loved doing it, but never really pushed too hard. But I'm always like, Dad, you got to get back on this stuff. Like you clearly love it. Like why are you leaving it behind? He's like, oh, I'm too old now. I'm like, bro, you're not. You're like 50. Like you're fine, bro.
Yeah, that's not old.
Yeah, it's not
really
old. I'm like,
young.
yeah, it's really young. 50 is the new 21 out here. But anyway. Yeah. Our parents knew each other through uni, and then I think we would always just end up running around together, and like maybe not so much here as much as just like back home or whatever. But
Right.
Yeah.
So how does the band come together? How do you make that jump into?
Do you want to tell them about your shoulder or collar, whatever it was?
I'll go a bit before then. We all got different like avenues into music, but even though Dad was a musician, it wasn't until hip hop really got into my genres listened to that I actually started writing my own stuff. And so I had all these raps I was writing from school and making beats, writing on them. And it was all just playground, shit. You wouldn't do it over a stage or anything, I thought. Until Geoff put together some beats on Ableton Live. And I was like, all right, sweet, try it out. And we did a radio show. Successfully. It was our first music that we actually put out there, and it was just my scribbly raps that I was writing, and then eventually it was like, all right, let's take it seriously. To that, I did not take it seriously. I went out and got pissed drunk and ended up in the hospital with a green whistle in one hand and a beer in the other.
That's really drunk.
And it was not a bright time. But the beauty of that meant that for all the music thing, I couldn't play guitar. And so we needed to make a pretty special call onto who could play guitar for all the beats we got, all the raps we got. And that special person was Felix. So yeah,
I actually paid one of Jake's mates to hit him a bit extra hard to make sure the arm was broken, so there was enough time for me to cement myself in the band.
It was a setup.
Yeah.
So you busted your shoulder out on the source.
Actually, I dislocated my elbow. So this bugger jumped out and then came back in this way.
Nasty.
It was not fun.
Okay.
But I couldn't really feel it. So
You did a good job.
It did a good job.
I've done that. My arm doesn't work right because I went out and drank. Let's just say I drank a lot. There was other things, whatever. And now my arm sort of gets seized up about there. So I could also be in a band because I can't play guitar either. But I couldn't beforehand. So.
Do you remember what you're doing before it ended up there?
Well, I mean, this podcast is not meant to be about me, but the truth of it is, I don't remember anything for a 2-hour lead up to. But I do remember the moment that I came back into my reality as I was mid-fall on my driveway at home. So, and I was technically on a first date with my now wife and mother of 3 of my children.
Wow.
So, I don't know what happened, but
it stuck.
Yeah.
You'll break your shoulder on the first date trip.
So I'd read it in a book.
Yeah, it works every time.
Yeah, so I don't know. If anything, I judge her. But so then you have this, a tragedy of sorts. You ask Felix to get together, and then it just, obviously it's gelled because I know you guys from before we've met today in person, but you're a favourite here.
Yeah, like Woodford has had such an impact. Like for me, when I was coming and seeing bands at Woodford, and everyone, we all know, we don't have to talk about how much of a range of music and performers there are, but like just seeing that and just seeing like Dad go up and do his thing, he would get me up. So I started playing digit around 5 years old and like the breathing at 8, and from about 9 or 10 he started letting me jump up on stages, and Jake was 6 when he started learning, so he would always get us up for like a song or two, and including Woodford. So we played some pretty cool shows, and that kind of made it real. And it probably wasn't until a bit later, like we'd always be going to festivals and gigs and stuff once we got older, and I just started, I guess, appreciating it a little bit more, because up until I was probably 20, I was full footy head, and I decided that the Maroons are doing so well, they probably don't need me. So I decided, it's my decision.
Good.
I'll follow music. No.
Well, if I can do maths, I reckon around that time they had a few losses after that, so you stitched them up.
Yeah, well, I mean, what could have been right there?
15 in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like seeing that, and then once like I started experimenting. So Dad and Charlie McMahon, like you can't tell our story without telling theirs. And Charlie McMahon, he invented the didgeridoo, which I brought here.
I can't wait to see it. I heard you reference it before.
He also invented this instrument called the face bass, which is like, I should have brought it actually, but it's a wire that goes around your mouth, and at the end of the wire is a seismic sensor. So his idea was kind of, I guess, progressing the contemporary Yidaki and didgeridoo sound. So it's all contemporary, but he was he was way ahead of his time back in the 80s, 70s and 80s with that style of music. Our dad came next with his style, and then I then started experimenting with things so around hip hop, electronic, anything I really enjoyed being at a gig for, I would just kind of experiment with it. And then
because even on paper, the list of words that you guys have in your music, it sort of reads like that's not going to work. It's so many different things.
Yeah.
But definitely from experience of hearing you guys, it works.
Yeah.
So you're just experimenting because that's what you know, right? You know because you've seen it.
Yeah.
So throw it at a wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah, and I think for us being at Woodford from an early age, seeing so many shows and a lot of the high energy shows, whether it's Amphitheatre or New Year's or any of these big ones where you walk into a tent and you just start dancing, that's kind of the feeling we try and put into our shows, because we know how great of a feeling that is. So, and also energy on stage. It's like, you know, we've seen so many shows being in the crowd that we want to bring that same energy onto the stage. So that's kind of how I guess our mentality into playing shows and making music.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I feel like we've always like Woodford for me, like I can always remember coming and like seeing bands that like you walk in, you hear the first song and you're like, this isn't something I would like go, like I wouldn't put on in my own time at home, but right now seeing this live, 10 out of 10, best thing I've ever seen. And like I feel like all of us, having grown up are like in pretty musical families, and then getting to go to festivals like this where there's such a diverse amount of things, we've always kind of had that idea of like, well, even if we're like our version of hip hop, funk, whatever is like not what someone wants to listen to in their own time, if we can make sure that if they come see us, they'll still love the live show.
Yeah, I agree
putting
with
the
that
emphasis
100%.
on that.
Yeah, I think I've lacked an ability in the past to go and grab the music that I want. You know, like look up who's on, who's playing, go to a band. I don't go out to see live music as much as I would like to, and as I definitely should in terms of supporting it. During Woodford, I get to just wander around.
Right,
and like you
yeah.
say, there'll be a thing on that I may not even know exists other than being at Woodford. That's the only reason. And I'm having a great time. I didn't know I'd be into this. This rules.
Yeah, you're just walking around, it's like suddenly you're seeing like an 8-piece jazz funk band from the other side of the world, and you're like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And it is that there's the real diversity of sound. I can see how heavily influenced you guys are by it. Like it really seems to inform what you do. And so then this has to be the grand final then, to use the rugby league reference. This is
Yeah, I think like it was almost almost celebrated when we got the call to say like, yep, you guys are in Woodford, because like for so many years, I think we might have been close. We might have applied the year before and didn't end up happening, but we were just, Woodford is just so high on the list to play, and like it was like I'll never forget the first for good reason, our first show at the Pineapple Lounge. Like just the energy before it, it was almost like playing our first show. Like it was
because there's heaps of family, right? Everyone.
Family, and I think just
like
being on a Woodford stage, like we'd been in the crowd so many times at the Pineapple Lounge, at all these other venues, and to be there, and then to have it. Then again, we had 4 shows. All of them were incredible, but the third show, which was New Year's Eve, I think just after the countdown.
Yeah.
It was a long day for us because we had heaps of friends and family who were celebrating naturally from, you know,
Sure,
from
yeah.
10 a.m.
You got to hold yourself pretty, because otherwise you can't break both arms.
No.
And you can't hold the microphone.
Yeah. But like, yeah, to that moment of like being part of that celebration where we've been in the crowd so many times, it was just, I get like excited. So I feel excited.
I love this. You
about
pass that, because as Geoff, you're talking, Jake, your face is like hearing that, and
I'm
you're
like-
smiling and reliving that moment.
Because we, I mean, when we made the music itself, we were kind of making it, you know, as we had heard it before, as Woodford fans.
Woodford crowd.
And so even though we never played Woodford, we'd performed as if we were performing to, you know, Woodford crowd. Now we're all of a sudden in front of a Woodford crowd, and it's exactly what we expected. Like everyone's gone crazy about it. Energy's through the roof. I lost my voice on the first gig that we played there, and I was like, what am I going to do this week?
And also at an institution like Pineapple Lounge, playing after the countdown, which I think is a real sign of, we think you're good enough to be able to hold this crowd now at this time on your first year. That's
Really
big.
At the Bazaar.
Yeah. So we played Bazaar after countdown.
And then, which was nice
Yeah.
because Pineapple was, I think, like it was amazing, but because like you're kind of on this ground level and there's so many people, and like you couldn't get a full grasp, you couldn't see the back. But once we were at the Bazaar, and you can kind of like bigger tent, and like you can see everyone, and the lights are a bit more, see everyone's faces. It was made it that much more special.
Just a quick little side story on the. I remember, so you know this story, right? After we'd play, I think it was probably like after the first 2 shows last year, we had like a day without any gigs in the middle, so we were like just roaming around seeing whoever we wanted to see and whatever. Anyway, I remember Geoff and I were in line to get a beer at the Pineapple Lounge, and we were like talking amongst ourselves with, like, I can't remember, maybe one of our mates was there as well. We were talking about like, oh man, like when the Pineapple's packed, like you can't really see like who's on stage unless you're close. Like could be anyone there, like doesn't like whatever. And this lady in front of us in the line turns around and is like, right, like I've seen like so many great bands here and I wouldn't even know if like I'd walk past them. And we're like, yeah, like it could just be anyone up there, hey. And then she like turns around and we're like, yeah, that'd be fun, like whatever, blah, blah, whatever. And then she turns around and is like, did you guys see Tjaka the other day? And we're like, oh, nah, like, who's that? Are they any good? And she's like, yeah, you should. They're worth seeing. You should go see them. We're like, oh, do you know if they're playing again? Like, we might go see them. She's like, oh, yeah, New Year's Eve, I'm going to go see them. We're like, oh, true. Like, oh, we were thinking of going and seeing this other band instead. She's like, nah, trust, like, you got to come see them. We're like, okay, like, see if we could make it work or whatever. I was like,
I love to think about that she's in the audience at your next show, right? And she's looking around to see if she can see you. You go, those boys are idiots.
Yeah. She's like, they didn't even come. Well, I was thinking as well, I'm like, there's such a good chance that she just comes and then doesn't realise as well. But
Sure.
That's just a bit of like Woodford magic as well. I'm like, I love that. That's so funny. Like,
So how many of you, so you go with what?
Oh, she's probably watching this going like, oh, those are the guys I met in the line.
Why do they know so much about Tjaka?
I actually saw them per her recommendation. I'm a super fan. They're impersonators.
I mean, that's a level, right? If you get to that somebody becomes Tjaka impersonators.
That'd be awesome.
A Tjaka tribute band.
And someone starts being like a wedding celebrant in Las Vegas, pretending, because you know how they got like the Elvis. Like,
yeah. Totally. That's another level. A wedding celebrant that's dressed up as Tjaka.
That's how you know. I want to get
goals
to
are
that
set.
point. That's how you know you made it.
How many have you done? How many Woodfords have you done now since your first one?
Like as the band, was just last year. So
Oh, that was the first one
that was the
last
first
year.
one,
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, no, it was great. But I've done a few with Dad. I can't even tell you how many, like, because I was always jumping up for one or two songs,
right.
and then with Luke, our drummer, he came with the Rhythm Hunters. He's actually here this year. Our drummer who played last year, he's with two other bands. It was
Kid Hank and Coomba All Stars.
Yeah, so there you go. There's a plug. Go
Good
see
on the
him.
info. I like you always look to Felix.
I know, yeah.
He's the details guy.
Yes.
You're not. I already know that about you.
Good story, but
Yeah. Right. And I wanted to say this too, because you were here so often with your dad. Was there an uncle as well that you said was here, or just a friend of your dad? Anyway, because you first started performing with your dad here at Woodford, does that make you the Woodford equivalent of a nepo baby? Are you? Is that?
I guess so.
I suppose.
Well,
I mean,
as long as you've got the talent to back it up.
unconsciously.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we'll claim it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, won't say no.
So where to from here then? You've done your last, at the time of recording, you've done your last show for this year.
Mm-hmm.
And next year, plans, tours. I've asked
Bit
the
of
wrong guy
both.
with the details.
No.
Hand the mic to Felix.
I can say that we've been locked into doing some recording.
Okay.
So we've flown down to Melbourne, smashed out some recordings, and I don't want to give away too much, but it's sort of we're getting ready to shoot off next year and see where we end up in terms of international travel, playing shows.
Yeah.
More music.
More music though.
Yeah, we were just in Melbourne at like a month ago or something. Yeah, working with a guy named Nicodemus, who's just insane producer, like one of those guys. Like we'd be in the studio and we'd be like cooking up something, and this was like the first day before we really knew like what he could do, and we were just sitting there and he's like, oh man, this should go pretty hard with like some saxophone on it, hey? And we're like, yeah, like that'd be sick if there was like sax, but like shame no one can play sax. And he's like, oh, I could like try lay something down. And he like pulls out the saxophone and then just like shreds it. And it's like the way he was talking, I was like, oh, he probably doesn't actually play. But then proceeds to whip out like some of the most insane like saxophone playing you've ever heard. Just so nonchalant about it, just like, oh yeah, cool, like that was all right.
But
We're
that
like,
means if that works right, for the live shows, you've got to find a saxophonist.
well, I remember saying to him, I was like,
literally
bro.
asked him, so as he played, I was like, we all stopped because we couldn't say anything. Our jaws were on the floor, and I was like, bro, can you just play for us, please? Play sax on our next show. He's like, yeah, no worries. Nonchalant as, you know, he wouldn't say anything.
And then, yeah, like over the course of the next few days when we were recording, he just would be like, oh, yeah, I might chuck some flute on this one, and then just absolutely
Again,
insanity.
you're like, dude, if you're going to keep bringing instruments, you're going to have to come along.
like I was like, bro, you're gonna need a big like bag to bring all this when you tour with us. But yeah, it'd be nice. But yeah,
Look,
he
just to
was
say,
awesome.
my eldest son learnt saxophone for 3 months in his first year of high school.
I reckon
And I'm
he-
just saying, if we're into this Nepo baby shit.
yeah, we could cook something up here. Yeah.
I mean, at this stage, he's dog shit, but I can make him practice. Yeah,
He could
hold
learn.
a spot for him.
Yeah. We'll hold it there.
I mean, if you're going on a long tour, that'd be cool for me too.
Yeah.
Because he'd be on a long tour.
Yeah. Do you mean like as in you'd be proud of him, or you'd just be
Yeah, I'd
nice
be proud of him and I wouldn't have to feed him.
Yeah.
He's a teenage boy and he
Yeah.
grows rapidly. He's almost as big as me at 15, so it's going to cost the tour. Actually, your tour will go bankrupt because you'll have to feed this guy.
But it'd be all right because we're helping Harley's kids. A win's a win.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess by your answer, the plan is this is what you do. This is life. You've lived it anyway. You've grown up with this.
Yeah.
And you're just going to see where it takes you in the future, or are there specific goals? This is what we want to be as a band, as a group in 5 years.
Yeah, it's funny with music because it's like, especially now because there's so much of it and it's so different to back in the day where it's like CDs or tapes or vinyls, and you kind of buy like what's I'm trying to say, it's like it's harder to make money kind
Man,
of directly and make a living off
That's what
it.
I wanted to lead you into anyway. It is.
Yes.
It's a really rough place to be.
So it's kind of like we're aiming, I would say we all agree we're aiming high, but also kind of we all have other jobs outside of music, and just try, it's a balancing act of making sure we're not kind of like, the importance is the music, and you know, the level of performance is always pretty high. So yeah, I think just it is a challenge for sure, but you know, a challenge you know we're willing to take, because I mean, nights like playing Woodford and traveling. We went to the UK for Great Escape earlier this year, and
What's that?
It's a UK festival in the UK, like a kind of up and coming festival for all around the world. Different bands go.
Right.
So that was really cool, and I mean, and we've gone to Taiwan, which was another amazing
Wow.
moment. That was our first international trip, which even talking about it, it's like, I can't believe we've done some of this stuff. So it's like we've had all this, you know, aiming high and just kind of taking it as it comes, in terms of, you know, what opportunities are out there. But yeah, we're just I think in the next year we've often been touring our shows in winter, and so I think next year we're kind of going to switch that a little bit and then focus on the recording stuff, see what comes of it, and hopefully by this time next year we'll be back to being really busy.
Yeah. And
But-
back here at the Woodford Folk Festival.
For
I can
sure.
feel it.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Programmers.
I'll put you on the comedy stage.
Yeah. If all else fails.
You'd probably get in trouble because I don't know if we'd do it. Yeah, I don't know if you'd want to do that. That'd harm your reputation as a programmer. But I just want to circle back. Like, it's so funny. Like, it's probably similar in comedy and like all creative industries to some extent. But like I remember when like we were first starting doing like the band, and like before we'd really like started gigging and touring and stuff, I like had all these like kind of just little personal goals in my head, and I was like, okay, like if we ever do XYZ, like we'll definitely be like, I won't have to have a day job, I'll get to like whatever. I was
Yeah.
like, national tour, yeah, if we're doing that, like I'll be like telling like my job to go shove it. And then like if we ever go overseas, like definitely won't be having a day job, we'll be raking it in. And then like very quickly come to realize that is not the case. And like it's like so funny with music, like you'll go like there's been multiple times where in like the space of 24 hours, like I've gone from, like we've gone from like being on stage playing to like hundreds of people or like whatever it may be, and then in the same 24-hour span, I find myself like down the like dairy aisle of the supermarket that I work at, like stacking yogurt, and I'm just like, this is not a normal thing to experience as a human. Like what?
And also, I hate that for you, that you have to do it. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that for any artist. I want every artist to be able to do what it is they do, and that's it, and that's enough. And that society sees that that is a necessary good to have, and that we support those people. But not to crush your spirits. I've been doing this for 25 years, live entertaining. And I've had some real great, big successes. And they've been fun and earned some big money. And the last 2 weeks I've been mowing lawns here at Woodford. So and by the way, it's been awesome and great to be able to get out and do it. But the reality of our industry is that we have these huge, big peaks sometimes, and then it can come down. And the reality is we've got to keep those other earning possibilities on the line all the time.
Yeah, it's funny like what you say like with the kind of waves, because like I'll have mates and they'll be like, oh, but surely like you guys are like getting paid all right, and I'm like, well, like yeah, we're like getting it's not like we're getting like peanuts for the shows, but it's like you get like one big show and there's like 4 of us in the band, you have a sound guy, you got a manager, you got to pay for like flights, all this stuff, and then very suddenly it's like, oh,
his arm reconstruction.
Like it's crazy. But I mean, like it's like the best part of doing music, I guess, is like being part of the culture and the experiences. And it sucks that it's like hard to make a living, but like I feel very rich in what I've gotten to experience as a part of music, and like just getting to meet people and do fun stuff. And
that's a good sell.
Yeah. Anyway, shouldn't have dropped out of psychology.
No way, I dropped out of psychology.
Really?
Yeah, I'm your future.
Out. That's crazy. Let's go. Can you teach me how to mow lawns?
Go back to uni.
Yeah, far out. Oh man, that's funny.
It doesn't end well.
Oh, dude.
No, look, it's fine.
How far in did you get?
6 months.
Dude, that's messed up. Because Sam, I
got uni?
QUT.
Ah, that's all right. I was at the other one.
It was pretty funny. I was like so sure I wanted to be a psychologist coming out of school. Did it for like 6 months. I think I maybe got to like the end of first year, and then it was so bad. I like rocked up for like the big final exam that's like 50% of your grade. Studied my ass off all week. I rock up. I'm like, hey guys, like I'm here for the foundation psychology exam, and they're like, oh, this is the podiatry exam. Like what? And I was like, no, like look at this. It definitely says my exam's here. And they're like, bro, that's yesterday. And I was like, fuck. I'm like, oh no. And then I just had this moment where I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna drop out, go do a music degree, see where that gets me. And
shit, Felix, you're the details guy. There's bad news for you too.
I know. Well, you gotta fail somehow to learn from your mistakes.
Origin story.
Yeah.
And now I'm the most organised man on the planet.
Well, look, I reckon just from meeting you, Yana, with you, your heads are in the right place, because it's all about the music and all about wanting to give people a good night. And in no part of any of your answers was actually, we want to be famous and make heaps of money. Because you'd be doomed for failure. But I think you've already got, whatever success is, I reckon you've already got it. And there's only more to come, because your heads are on.
I will say, like, some of these things that we've done already, it's just, if it was to end tomorrow, which it won't, but because we'll keep going forever. But it's just like some of the things we've done already, it's just like, we've already kind of won. Like we played Woodford, had such an amazing experience. Another big one was, which we still can't believe, is Catch a Fire, which I first saw at Woodford, I think, years ago. We got to tour with them for a few shows, and that was just like, wow. Like just, with these legends on tour and seeing them, backstage and getting ready for their show and seeing how they do it at that level. Things like that, they're just priceless kind of memories that you just bank up in here. So
yeah, definitely. Well, I'm really grateful for the time. I'm just going to be selfish here. I know you brought along the bondage. I'd love to hear something through. I'd love to see it. I'd love to hear something through it, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's okay. So this one, I mentioned Uncle Charlie McMahon. This is called.
I'm wearing his shirt right now.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the didgeridoo bone. So Uncle Charlie, he wanted
Didgeridoo.
like a trombone. Yeah.
Dude, I'm a trombonist.
Oh no way.
Yeah, I played the trombone for 6 years.
Yeah,
and now
right.
I thought it was like a didge made out of a bone. I was like, that is
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, that would be heck.
How'd you do that?
Yeah.
What was the animal?
Alright, he wasn't a very good guy anyway.
This one is PVC, but slide 2 pieces of pipe. Yeah, you got your notes there, like a trombone.
Do I need to move this table for you?
Oh no, it's okay.
No,
I
you're
can
going
bring it up.
That is so great.
So it's different to a wooden one in the sense that it does sound a little bit different because of it is pipe. Yeah, the difference is because you can slide and change the length, it will change the key. So traditional Yidaki is or a didge from the north or wherever it is.
Yeah.
Made of wood, the diameter and the length will determine the pitch and the key, and the only way to change that is to cut it. So with this, you technically got 10 didges in the one.
All different types.
Yeah. So when I was playing with, I actually learnt on this, and the best part of it is, one of the good parts is the mouthpiece, is because I was so a kid when I learnt. The same mouthpiece fits me now. Like it's a good one to learn off, because I find some of the wooden ones, depending on unless you put beeswax on it and like mold it to shape what you want, they can be different sizes, which for a young kid is a bit difficult when they're like quite big.
Yeah.
So,
And I had a mate who was allergic to bees, not even joking. Whose mouth blew up because he played a didge with beeswax on it.
Yeah, right.
And got done. And like I'm a really big craft nerd. Right, I love woodwork. Has anyone made, because surely we can get on the wood turn, get a big industrial wood turn and make something like this out of wood. I'm not saying it's got to be easy, but has one been done, or they're always out of PVC?
No, I
Never
think
heard of a wooden one.
no, I have actually.
Really?
I can't even tell you the name because I have seen some different types of slide didges. This one, the ones I have seen, they were like different kind of pieces, so I don't know exactly. I've never played one. This is kind of the only one I know, but yeah, it also, fun fact, comes onto it's on your carry-on, so it fits. I always get funny looks at the airport. We're often playing for security guards, going, what the hell is this?
I love it. Like
Prove it.
The amount of times we've been catching like a red-eye flight to or from somewhere, and then I'll get through security, and then I'll like turn around and Geoff's having to play, like, or Jake's having to play, like they're like, what's this? And he's like, a musical instrument, I swear. And they're like, prove it. And it's like, and then they'll be like, we believed you. We just wanted to hear it.
Although there's my mate, Dane Simpson, the comedian Dane Simpson he's got the twisted didge.
Oh yeah. Not the circle one, or the snake looking one.
It's the snake looking one.
Yeah, cool.
Yes, because he can get that on a plane as well. And I think he makes some joke about it that it went through the wash or something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, whenever you're ready, Geoff, I'd love to hear this.
Spit some bars.
want you to know that, and I reckon they can find the footage and put it together. I had the same sense of amazement and joy as watching Lindsay Pollock play his weird bong. Like that was really cool. Thanks for bringing that.
Nah, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks to all three of you for giving up your time. Can't wait to see you at the next one.
Yeah. Cheers.
See you, brother.
Happy Woodford.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. That's good. They're good energy. They're fun. I reckon there's a heap of stuff in their future. I think you can feel that. You can see it if you watch the video. You can see the light and the energy in their eyes, and I think there's big things to come for them. If you hadn't heard of them before that very episode, look them up, get into that. The sky is massive in their world. It's going to explode for them. I had a pleasure talking to them. We did it here on Ginnabarra Country. This episode, as all, has been produced by the wonderful people at Woodfordia Inc. I'm your host, Harley Breen. Like, share this, spread it around. Thanks for the music from the East Pointers. Till next time, bye.